Hi everyone, and welcome to Sustainable Architecture. In this video, I'm going to walk you through your online course. When you enter your online course for Architecture 253, this is what you're going to see. At the top here is, of course, our course title. Always important to figure out which one you're in. Next, this section here is for news. Now, this is a major way that I communicate with students. All right, expect a news announcement generally once a week, and please pay close attention to these. All right, so you can see that I've just created one right here. Welcome to Architecture 253 for you to read as you join the course. All right, over here you can see some updates for yourself. I happen to have 4 quizzes that are not attempted. Oops, all right, and some emails. So let's scroll down. Next is a calendar section, and this tells you what is coming up in the course. If you have some things that are coming due, they'll show up here. And you can see that the first things that are due are a week 1 quiz. All right, right in there. So let's scroll down. And you can see at the bottom of the page here, you have a content browser. It's listing our week 1 and our week 2 modules because those are the only ones that I have set as, quote, open at the time of making this video. All right, but this isn't my favorite way of accessing course content. All right, I find it a little awkward to access all of the material using this particular browser. So let me show you a different way. Scrolling all the way back up to the top of the screen. All right, we take a look at these tabs at the top. Right now we're at Course Home, and let's take a look at Content. All right, so I've clicked the Content tab, and here we are in your main place for accessing course content. All right, right now I'm at the table of contents, which is going to list everything. And you will go over here to this menu on the left and access our weekly modules. All right. This course is designed with weekly modules. They generally start on a Monday morning, and everything is due by the Sunday night. All right, it's more complicated than that. There's more details in the Start Here module. All right, so take a look and look at that closely. So if you scroll down, you can see that we have a weekly module every week all the way through the semester. All right, and then if you click on one, let me click the Start Here module. You can see that they are subdivided into two, they call them sub-modules. All right, one is content and the other one is activities. Everything in content is are the things that you need to watch and read and learn from. Right? Everything in activities are the things that you need to do and turn in. All right, so I've separated those out for you. Here in the Start Here module, all right, you have week 1 content about the course, and the very first thing you'll see here is our course syllabus. We'll come back to that in just a second. And then you can work your way through the rest of the material and find out all about our course. All right. And then if you keep scrolling down, you'll see our activities. And in week 1, you have your activities listed right here. Let's take a look at week 2 because it's a little bit more standard. The week 1 module is a little bit different. Week 2 is where we start with the information for our course. All right. So you click right here on week 2, and we have content and activities. Over here in week 2 content, we start with an overview that tells you what you're going to study this week, and a to-do list if you need a little checklist to help you get going. All right. Next is your required reading. This tells you which chapters and pages of our textbooks you need to read this week. This is already also listed in the Start Here module if you want to look at the whole semester. Next, I usually have video lectures made by me. All right, and that's shown right here. It's called What is Eco-Design? Sustainable Design Concepts Part 1 and Part 2. Those are my lectures. Before them, I give you the notes for these lectures. It's copies of my slides. Some people really like those. All right. Finally, there are anything else that I would like you to read, watch, or learn from. Sometimes this is videos, sometimes it's articles, sometimes there's nothing. Okay. In this case, it happens to be an additional video. And then there's a listing of optional resources. I invite you to explore any and all of the optional resources in this course. Sometimes they are a little bit more basic material so that if you didn't really understand what we covered in this week's content, you can back it up a little bit and have another chance to understand. Sometimes it's material that's a little bit more detailed. So if you are more interested in a topic, you can learn more about it. All right, so take a look every time you see one of these optional resources listings. Moving down to the week 2 activities. You can see that in week 2 here, we have a quiz, assignment, and discussion. This is going to be standard for every weekly module. You'll have 3 things to turn in. Let's go back to that week 1 module and take a look at the syllabus. So here we are taking a look at the syllabus. This is a PDF document, all right? And if you want to, you can scroll down to the bottom here and download it so you have a copy in your files, okay? Starting with, we're here for Architecture 253. Your instructor is Sarah Cravey, and I'm available. My best contact is the email, which is listed. Where is it? Oh, there it is, right here, scravey@hack.edu. All right. And you can also call or text me on this number right here that's listed as personal. This is a Google Voice number that I have just for students to contact me. All right. And we can also set up an appointment if you'd like to meet with me. Scrolling on down. Let's talk about catalog description. What are we going to do in this course? You're going to be introduced to sustainable architecture. Here are the prerequisites. I hope everyone's had them. And continuing, you'll see a list of our required textbooks. There are 2, and we're going to heavily lean on them this semester, so you definitely need both of these. Okay. There are no supplemental text required or recommended. But there are some supplies, and the number one, most important one, all right, that you probably already have, given that you're enrolled in an online course, is a computer with your up-to-date web browser and broadband internet access. You're also going to need a scanner for this course because there is some hand-drawn work, all right, in which you would want to take a scan or a picture of and then submit. A smartphone camera works for this, all right. And I highly recommend using a scanning app. My favorite is called Adobe Scan. It's a free app. I've also had students turn in great work with one called Cam Scanner. All right. What you want to do when you scan your work with this is to make sure that your page is evenly lit and that you are focusing your camera directly on it. Take a look at it before you turn it in and save my old eyes by giving me something that's legible, please. All right. If you happen to have access to a copier or a scanner machine, that's great too. Video camera. I am going to require a video project near the end of the course. A smartphone camera, a webcam, or any other digital video recorder will work for this. Now, the next one is recommended and not required. I probably should have said that here, but I forgot. Anyway, and that is software to edit PDF files. I notice time and time again students struggling with working with PDFs. I suggest a program called Bluebeam Review, which unfortunately does not have a Mac version. Or the industry standard is Adobe DC, or there are other ones out there. Not required, but I do recommend. And finally, architectural drafting software is not needed for this course. SketchUp, AutoCAD, Revit, whatever it is that you've got in your learning, we're not going to use them this semester. Let's take a look back at the syllabus here. The next thing is your list of learning outcomes, and I invite you to read those, please. And our schedule of activities. You've got a 15-week course, and each week is organized as a separate module. All right, hopefully that's easy to understand. Let's keep going. And you'll find that in the Start Here module, you'll have a course contract. So you are committing to a certain level of work and communication in this course. And course requirements, you're going to be required to participate in weekly discussions, take weekly quizzes, and complete weekly assignments. There's also 2 projects, a midterm and a final. And there's 2 exams, a midterm and a final. All right, a lot of work involved in this course. Let's talk about the grading. The grade distribution is going to be discussions are 20%, quizzes are 10%. Those are pretty low stakes. I want you to think of the quizzes as more like a learning tool, okay? Assignments are 20%, projects are 30, that bumps it up. Okay, the projects are the single most, I don't want to say most important, but they have the most impact on your grade. And finally, the exams are 20%. Let's keep going and take a look at the attendance policy. Even though this is an online course, you are expected to spend quite a bit of time with it. You can expect to spend 9 to 12 hours per week working on course materials, and I expect you to log in at least 3 or 4 times a week. All right, it's almost impossible to do this course logging in just once a week. Next in your syllabus is the attendance policies. I invite you to read this closely, all right? And all of this applies. Thank you. Excused, unexcused absences, etc. All right. I'm going to scroll through attendance in online courses. All right. You need to continue to attend and participate. And please read through this section. I will keep going. There's a withdrawal policy and a makeup policy. Makeup policy is only for excused absences. All right. And finally, let's take a closer look at the late assignment policy. I want you to read this piece closely because it's a little bit tricky. All right, and applies exclusively to my course. So we have different kinds of things that you need to do and turn in, all right, in this course. And the late assignment policy is a little bit different for each one. So let's start with discussions. The discussion forums are going to open for a certain amount of period, a certain amount of time, a certain period, excuse me. Your late discussion posts will only be accepted until the forum closes. All right, the forum closes, there will be no going back and turning in your discussion posts late. Assignments are a little bit different. All right, assignments have a due date. All right, but I will accept late assignments because life happens. We all know that. All right, so late assignments will be accepted up to 1 week past their due date, with a 10% grade deduction, all right, so a small grade deduction. Or after that 1 week period, I'll accept them all the way until a week before the midterm, if it's in the first half of the course, or a week before the final, if it's in the second half of the course, all right, with a 50% grade deduction. Now that's a pretty hefty grade deduction. I really want you to stay current with the materials in the course, all right, but 50% is a lot better than nothing. So if you do fall behind, I invite you to take advantage of this opportunity to turn in some late work. Let's move on to quizzes, projects, and exams. All of these are due on the date posted and no late work will be accepted. There's a little caveat with the quizzes. Quizzes are actually able to be taken 3 times. All right, you can attempt this quiz. get maybe a 7 out of 10 and go, oh, maybe I need to go look at that material again. All right, and then you can try it another 2 times, 3 times, all right, and only the highest score counts. So this is why I really want you to treat this as a learning opportunity. All right, take the quiz and go back and study maybe what you missed. All right, but take the quiz a little bit earlier than the due date, okay, so that you have time to do this 3 times because they will close on the due date. Let's keep going. Um, Academic dishonesty. This applies to our course. Please read it closely. And finally, let's take a look at this assignments and course calendar. This is for 2021, obviously. And what you see here is I've numbered each of the weeks, and this corresponds to all of the weekly modules in your course. So you see the week number here, we're right now in week 1, and the module title is Introduction to the Course. Modules begin on a Monday morning, and they end on a Sunday evening. And that's when your quiz, your first discussion post, and your assignment are due. But what are these other columns? Oh my goodness, Sarah, what are you doing? Well, the first thing is, even though the module begins on a Monday, some students only work on this course on weekends. And so to accommodate them, I actually open the module early on a Friday, the Friday before. Okay, so early access, this is when the module will actually open and you can see it in your course. All right, sorry, I know that's a little confusing, but there we go. But what's this other column over here? Discussion forum end. Well, for example, let's talk about the week 2 discussion forum. Week 2 right here, environmental impact of design. On looks like September 12th, you need to post your original post responding to the discussion prompt. All right, so you post, it's usually a paragraph or 2. All right, and often I ask you to include a photo and or a URL link. All right, but the discussion forum stays open for an additional week, and you can see that here. It stays open till 9/19, and that's so you have a chance to go back to this forum, look at other students' posts, and comment on their work, and also to reply to comments on your original post. All right, so that's why there's an additional week. That discussion forum carries over, and you'll see that happens every week. Let's keep going. You'll see that week 7 here is your midterm exam and a midterm project is due. And you'll see that in week 15, you have a project due. This is your final project. And week 16, that's the finals week. You have your final exam. Continuing to scroll down in this syllabus, you can see some information for the Learning Commons. I want to highlight that they have tutoring available, and they also have, I don't know what they have, but it's awesome. I expect you to take advantage of these resources. Please take a look. Let's continue. Mental health counseling is available. And here is our diversity, inclusion, and student choice statements. This is important to me. Please take a look, read through it carefully, and it applies to our course. Okay. Students in need of accommodation, you need to work through the Disability Services Office and then contact me. I am more than happy to work with you. All right. And here is another statement from HAC that applies to our course. All right, everybody, that's the end of our syllabus. Sorry, it's a 10-page document. It's quite detailed, but now you've had the overview. I invite you to take a look more closely, especially those sections that we glossed over here. But there's one more thing in your course, your online course here, that I want to highlight. So let me scroll all the way up to the top of the window here. And it's up here, right here, under your own. This is me signed in as a student instead of my usual teacher role, so yours probably won't say that. I'm going to click right here, and you'll see that you have a profile, notifications, and account settings. Please, please, here at the beginning of the semester, take the time to go in, review your profile, add a photo. It very much helps to add a photo. If you don't want it to be a photo of your face, you can use an icon of some other kind, which is fine. All right. Set up your notifications. It's really important that you get the course notifications, that you get those weekly announcements, and that you get all of your important course notifications to however you want to be notified. If it's your hack email, if it's some other email, if it's a different way. All right, set them up in the notifications. Your account settings are important. All right, go through and make sure that you have those exactly how that works and how it is best for you. All right, everybody, thanks for sticking with me as we walked through your course, a lengthy discussion of your syllabus. Welcome to this semester, and we're going to have a great time learning about sustainable architecture. Thanks.